All right, so what we'll do now is we'll start looking at some demand curves, right? And we'll start deriving what we call the market demand curve. All right, now the idea here is that we can draw demand curves for individuals, but for the most part, we like to deal with demand curves for the entire market. So this is basically a demand curve, for everybody in the market. Now we'll start off with a very simple example. Okay, and as you see here, I'm going to draw two demand curves first. Now we'll say I'll draw a demand curve for Jimmy over here and a demand curve for John. And we'll say this is the demand for sandwiches. It really doesn't matter, but let's say this is Jimmy's demand. Let's say this is John's demands. Okay. Now we'll assume that at a price of, we'll say, $7, Jimmy here demands 5 sandwiches. At a price of $6, Jimmy demands 7 sandwiches. John, on the other hand, at a price of $7, he doesn't like sandwiches as much, so maybe he only likes 2 sandwiches. And at a price of $6 over here, John demands maybe only 3 sandwiches. Okay. Now, what would be the market demand curve? Well, to find the market demand curve for Jimmy and John over here, okay, right, and the market demand curve for sandwiches, again, assuming these are the only 2 people in this market, right? Now, what would be the market demand curve? Well, all we're going to do is at every price, we're going to add up all the quantities for each person. So at a price of 7, Jimmy is willing and able to purchase 5 units, right, or 5 sandwiches, and John is willing and able to pay for 2 sandwiches, right? So for $7, the market demands 7, right? 5 plus 2 here. At a price of $6, the market demands, we'll say, 10. Right? This is $6 here, and this is our market demand curve. All we're going to do is basically connect the dots here. Okay. Excellent. All right. All right, so this process we did here has a nice little fancy name. It's called horizontal summation. Okay. All right, and basically this is how we derive our market demand curves, right? All we're doing is adding up the number of units we're adding up the number of units at each price, right? So over here at a price of selling, we're adding up 5, and over here for John, we're adding up 2 units at the price of 7. The market demands 7, right? Over here at a price of $6, Jimmy demands 7 units, John demands 3. If we add those 2 up, we get 10, right?